Hi guys, Grits FX here. Today I'm going to be working on a new sculpt. It's a sculpture of the Dodo Bird, and I'm going to have my sort of like my artistic interpretation of it, and work on it with this clay material that I've just recently received through Nara Clay. And a big thank you and shout out to Nara Clay for providing me with this wonderful product. I've been working with this stuff lately, and it's been opening up new artistic venues. So it's pretty exciting to be working with a new type of clay medium. In this project, I'm going to be incorporating cloth, so it's a little different from what I'm usually working on, but it should be fun. So right here, I have my newly made armature made out of tin foil, some foam pieces within, and these sticks I've pretty much broken off of like some chopsticks I had available in the house. So the head here is completely made out of tin foil with a little wire looping around that bottom section right there near the jaw, and I've incorporated another wire to kind of lock it into place, so it has sort of like a hinge articulation right there. And that's just because I wanted to pose this character's mouth every once in a while, whether maybe have his mouth open or as if he was speaking or saying something. I don't know, I think I might use this little character for something in the future. Still thinking about how I'm going to use him, but yeah, he seems kind of interesting. I mean, it's the dodo bird that I've always, fascinated about since my younger years. So right here, I've got the clay that I'm going to wrap all the way around, all over completely this armature that I have right now. Now the clay is a little lumpy because I've mixed it up with some other older clay that I've had. So usually when it comes out of the package, it's completely nice and smooth, like you see right there. So what I'm doing is just completely covering up and trying to make the surface kind of smooth and symmetrical as possible, because you don't want all these little lumps, which was my mistake. I shouldn't have mixed it up with the previous batch that I dried out earlier. But I'm not worried about it because that fabric is pretty much going to cover up all those imperfections, those little lumps. It should do a pretty good job with that. Now, I had to wait for probably around 5 hours for this thing to totally dry out. So now I'm placing this latex glue over the surface. So right now I got the fabric here that kind of inspired me to work on this dodo bird, because once I saw that fabric laying around, I was like, whoa, this stuff is pretty cool. So I'm wrapping it around the figure itself, trying to make it all nice and neat and tight. Just making sure everything's a nice fit. Now mind you, some of that glue does push through the fabric, so it's all a matter of moving the fabric around a little bit just to loosen up that furry surface. So once everything dries out, I just come in with these pair of scissors to trim off that loose fabric right there. And it works in a way where the fabric has sort of like a fur-like look to it, so all those little strands kind of cover up those seams pretty well. Now there are a couple of hair strands that kind of stick out, but it's all right because I kind of like it. It kind of gives that feel of a puppet, and I think that's kind of charming. Now, cutting this fabric right here, sometimes it's a little difficult because the hairs do kind of get caught up in the scissors, and I guess I got to sharpen those scissors a little bit further, but I think it came out pretty nicely right there. Now the fur does give it a lot of character. I think I wanted it to look a little raggedy and kind of old. So I'm covering up the tinfoil head with this clay. This clay has a working time of about an hour or so. It stays very sculptable, but then after that hour, it begins to harden slightly. It'll completely harden after, I would say, maybe 5 hours. So I had to watch out for that hinge right there where the beak meets the head itself. Trying to preserve that hinge was kind of a difficult thing, but I didn't want to go too far with the scope. I kind of want to leave it a little bit loose to stay away from it looking too realistic. Now, trimming out the hair piece right here was a little difficult, but I wanted to get it in such a nice way where it actually covers up most of the back of his head and hides some of the the hinge area where it's kind of exposed. So as I glue it onto the head, I kind of directed the hairs to kind of move to look like they're facing forward, like they're covering up his cheeks and is giving him sort of like a mini bangs up in front, which I think is quite charming. It's pretty cute. It's got mutton chops and everything. So now that he's fully covered with this material, I'm gonna begin painting some of the areas that I feel like need a little difference in tone. So I'm beginning to work with the head. Right there. Now, I have no idea what color this animal had on it when it existed on this planet. So I did a little bit of research. I found out that scientists have claimed that these dodo birds were actually descendants of pigeons that got trapped on a landmass back in the day when the Earth was moving and shifting through plate tectonics. So these birds were able to grow and thrive on this piece of land without any trouble from predators or hunters, all until the humans came and eradicated them, which is quite sad. Poor guys. But they had their time, and I think they were pretty incredible creatures, having to evolve during that time and becoming such adorable looking birds. Yep. And here, these colors kind of like play pretty well into the look of it. Just giving it a light, sort of like a wash of colors over the plumage. Just trying to give it a just slightly different tones so that you could actually see where the wings begin and end. And here I'm painting little toenails. I kind of wanted to have that little hint of blue in there, kind of like reflecting the beak and some of the blue that I had on the face as well. Now when I do eyes, I like to use tools such as this. There's a little beady round tip sculpting tool. It just works easier that way rather than using a brush, because this round tool, it really holds its shape very well. It doesn't flex like the little brush, the little strands of hair on a brush. So I think it came up pretty nicely. And this was just a little experiment that I wanted to play around with the materials and see how it came out. And I'm totally looking forward to working with this clay sometime in the future on other projects as well. So, if you've liked this video, please push that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.